Manila, Philippines. Former President Rodrigo Duterte may have appeared subdued during his first appearance before the International Criminal Court (ICC), but his legal team has taken a combative stance against what it described as a troubled and desperate legal institution. Former Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea, who represented Duterte during his hearing on Friday, criticized both the ICC and the Marcos administration. Two troubled entities struck an unlikely alliance, Medialdea told the ICC pre-trial chamber I judges. An incumbent president who wished to neutralize and choke the legacy of my client and his daughter, on the other hand, and a troubled legal institution subject to delegitimization and desperate for a prize cut and a legal show today, on the other hand. He added, Duterte's lawyer and former presidential spokesman Harry Roque also expressed disappointment that the ICC did not address what he called a kidnapping issue. We believe at the earliest instance the court should rule on the legality of kidnapping as a means of acquiring jurisdiction, Roque said in a statement following Friday's hearing. We think that the ICC should again set an example in promoting international justice, and when kidnapping is allowed as a means of acquiring jurisdiction over the jurisdiction of the accused, we think this too is a travesty of justice. Citing a decision of the Constitutional Court of South Africa, Roque said that the illegality of the arrest should divest the court of its jurisdiction. You cannot correct a wrong by committing another wrong. It is unacceptable that we accept jurisdiction acquired through kidnapping, especially when kidnapping took place in the context of the Philippines, where the court is now being used as a tool of oppression by the Marcos government.
Tacloban, Leyte, it was not right to kill thousands of Filipinos to eradicate illegal drugs in the country, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said Tuesday. The same day, former President Rodrigo Duterte faces crimes against humanity charges before the International Criminal Court (ICC). In his speech during the campaign rally of the Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas senatorial slate here, Marcos stressed that a peaceful and orderly situation in the Philippines could be achieved through effective lawmaking and not by killing thousands of Filipinos. In the fight against illegal drugs and crime, we don't need to go through bloody means. None of us believe that the solution to crime and drugs is to kill thousands of our fellow Filipinos. That is not right, Marcos said. The president then pushed for strengthening law enforcement through proper legal frameworks and institutional support for the police and local government units. The only way to ensure peace and order is through proper lawmaking and effective support to the police and our local governments. This was a notable departure from the previous Duterte administration's bloody drug war, which human rights groups claim resulted in thousands of extrajudicial killings. Duterte is currently at the ICC detention center in The Hague and made his initial appearance before the International Court at 9 p.m. Manila time on Friday. The former president was arrested on Tuesday and taken to The Hague to face charges of crimes against humanity of murder in connection with killings under his administration's war on drugs. Marcos, who is looking for a 12-0 victory for his senatorial candidates, said Duterte's arrest was proper. In the same speech on Friday, Marcos also reiterated his administration's decision to ban Philippine offshore gaming operators POGOs, citing their alleged links to criminal activities. He said his administration's focus was on creating legitimate employment opportunities instead of relying on industries with questionable effects on the country's security and stability. When it comes to our economy and work, we do not need to rely on illegal activities like POGOs. We left that business because it only became breeding zones of crime and violence, which became a problem for the entire country. That's why we left that industry, Marcos said. The correct solution is by providing real jobs, real sources of livelihood, and support for those in need. Let us unite. What we need here in the Philippines is to refrain from fighting others. What we need is to have Filipinos who love their fellow Filipinos.